Happy Hallows Eve and welcome to Humans of CSU. I'm your host, Lauryn Orcutt. Tonight we have a show that will spook and inspire you for the remainder of the fall season. Our first guests are members from the Chemistry Club, here to show us some chemical reactions. I'm joined by Maggie Wellman and Hannah Hare. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Let me put my glasses on. Okay, what do we have? What did you bring us? Let's start with the first one, the pumpkin maybe?
Yeah, so first we have puking pumpkin. Really exciting. Should I do it?
Sure.
Yes.
And then we can talk about the science.
These are all demonstrations that we had at our Halloween show this year that was on Sunday. And so the first two that we're going to show you were in our Mad Scientist show, and two of our demo specialists run that one. So this one's a big hit with all the kids.
I'm excited. It'll be a big hit with me, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yep.
We hope it works. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. There you go.
Wow. That was like a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, us too.
Okay, so tell me everything about this. How does this work?
Okay, so I'll tell you the really sciencey version first.
Okay.
So basically this is the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So when hydrogen peroxide decomposes, it creates a ton of oxygen. And because we have soap in here, it got locked in the soap molecules and made it foamy and bubbly like this.
And it's even like steaming.
Yeah, it's an exothermic reaction, so when it happens, it produces heat, and that's what you're seeing right now.
So if I touch that, it would be hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd
can
be
I
warm.
touch it?
You can put your hand near it.
Yeah.
It's not that hot right now, but it was hot.
Oh yeah, that's
if you do it like in
weird.
a container, you can usually feel the heat of the container.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's the version that I could understand?
Okay, so we use this thing called potassium iodide, hydrogen peroxide, and soap in this. So when the hydrogen peroxide goes into contact with the sodium or with the potassium iodide, it like creates a reaction that releases a lot of oxygen. And then because of the soap, it reacts like with the oxygen and it makes it foamy.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That one was awesome. So you said you do this for a show.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
So yeah, our whole Halloween Spectacular event takes up like the whole first floor of the Chem building and kind of goes into the first floor of Yates. And we have like 10 or so interactive booths spread out that the kids can go to. And then we also have two shows that like rotate throughout the night. And one of them is a liquid nitrogen show run by some of our chemistry grad students. And then the other one is a Mad Scientist show. And that's run by our demo specialists. So they just take a series of fun, exciting, like kind of showy chemical reactions and then make like into a little skit. So in the show, they like pretend that the pumpkin is sick from eating too many gummy bears. And then he throws up and all the kids are like, he's throwing up out of his eyes.
Oh, wow.
And it's very fun. Yeah.
It's fun.
That's super cool. So you said is it more aimed towards kids or like can everyone come?
Yeah, everyone can come, but it's more aimed towards kids and like getting them excited about science before they actually like learn real science, so that they can have like a good understanding of like how fun science can be, like with a fun, spooky background.
Yeah, so it's a lot of families that come. A lot of professors bring their families too, which is really fun to see.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you
Should
have
we do our second one? Once again, I hope this one works. This one is also part of the Mad Scientist show, and it's Genie in a Bottle, or as they say in the show, that they've like trapped ghosts.
Ooh.
So hopefully this one works too. This is supposed to fall, but it's not working.
We have to make sure it falls in.
Yeah.
Right. The ghosts.
Yeah,
They're
the ghosts.
in
The
there.
ghosts fall in.
Hopefully it'll work. Maybe.
Oh, maybe not.
We might not have done enough.
Science, you know.
We weren't sure how to scale it right to show it. So
I don't know any difference, so I
usually
like it.
it has like a bunch of like white vapor that comes out and it looks like the ghosts are escaping.
Cool.
So in the
Yeah.
show, I think they do some sort of skits like, don't release the ghosts, and then they actually undo the cork.
Yeah,
and all
so
the
it makes
ghosts fly
like
out.
this huge cloud of steam.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that happens in the puking pumpkin demonstration, where it releases a ton of oxygen, and you can see it in like its condensed like cloud form because of all the oxygen that's being released. It doesn't foam up because there's no soap.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's in the soap that is soap like the magic thing in most of these, or
Just in this one, that's what makes it like all foam up. All the air molecules get trapped in the soap.
well, I can definitely like smell the soap too.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one more.
We do.
This is one of the ones from our booths. So at the show, we have the Mad Scientist show, the Liquid Nitrogen show, and then we have other things like bouncing bubbles, which are bubbles that bounce on your clothes.
We have Poor Man's Tie-Dye, where the kids draw with Sharpies on quilting squares, and then we use ethanol, and we like make it look all tie-dye-y.
Because the ethanol dissolves the ink in the Sharpies, and then it turns into tie-dye.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. And then
slime, which we call troll boogers.
we have
love
we have a dark room where everything inside like fluoresces, so the kids can play with like glow-in-the-dark chalk and glow-in-the-dark paint.
Oh, wow.
And
we also have the CSU Entomology and Aquariums clubs come.
Really? What
Yeah.
do they do?
They just kind of show like their bugs and underwater creatures to all the kids, and the kids get really into it. That's definitely one of our most like packed things that we have at the show.
Right.
they're all like very knowledgeable about all the animals they bring. So as the guests come down the line, they can like, you know, pet the animals and like, you know, learn a bunch of cool facts about them, and it's very hands-on and very cool.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. And you said this happens once a year. Is it just one day?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
one day. It's usually the Sunday before Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite part about it before we do the last?
I've already did the last one. I don't know. I was really sad this is my last year doing it because I'll be graduating in May. But I think my favorite part is just all of the like volunteers that we get to come because it takes a lot of volunteers. I think we had close to 60 volunteers
Oh,
this
wow.
year, and it's really cool to just
Yeah.
like work together with so many CSU students, and they all do such a great job. So I think
And
that's
we
my favorite
had
part.
over 1,000 people attend, so without 60 volunteers, we can't make this show like possible and as fun for the kids as it could be.
Yeah.
My favorite part is probably all the planning. I know that sounds so lame, but I am a natural born event planner, I feel like, even though I'm a chemistry major. And so I really enjoy like putting together all of our little booth boxes and like planning out all the station descriptions and figuring out how to get volunteers, like things like that.
Yeah,
Right.
it takes a
The
lot of planning.
logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start planning in August.
Wow. I mean, that makes sense. It
Yeah.
seems like there's a lot going on, especially is the coordinating, or you said the entomology club, they come every year too.
Yeah. And then the Zoological Discovery Center from Denver usually comes, but we had a lot of snow come in, as you know.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
And it wasn't, we were hoping for nice weather. Last year it was really nice weather. So they couldn't make it up because of the road conditions, but normally they bring like a bunch of reptiles. So we have snakes and lizards and a tortoise and all sorts of fun animals.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
there's lots of different kinds of science. It's not just chemistry.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we do this?
Yeah.
You said this is
Okay.
witch melting?
This is witch
Yeah.
melting. So when you come to the station, you get one of these little styrofoam peanuts, and the kids can decorate it like a witch.
Oh, wow.
And then when you're ready, you can put it in the.
Go for
Just
it.
like
You
all
can
the
melt your
way.
witch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, yeah, she's melting. She's gone.
Yeah.
That was so
She's gone.
fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Gone.
very fun to do. So what's happening here is that it's not actually melting because you would need heat for it to melt, but the styrofoam peanuts are made up of a polymer, which is just like a lot of carbon molecules linked together, and the acetone, which is like what you use to take off your nail polish remover. It's a nonpolar solvent, so it dissolves all of those bonds, and all the air that was trapped in here gets released, and then as the volume disappears, so does your packing peanut. So it's not actually like, it hasn't like completely gone away, it's just dissolved in this solution.
Okay, I see. And so does it just like break down and fall to the bottom?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so eventually the acetone will evaporate, and then you'll just be left with like
A little film.
a little
of,
shell
like,
of a packing peanut at the bottom.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll like, it loses its structure, and it just becomes dissolved in the solution.
yeah,
Nice.
but it happens really quickly, so
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm gonna give it
does.
a try too.
Yeah.
it's
I
a
wanna see it again.
like dissolves like kind of situation.
Yeah.
It does dissolve super fast.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it too. I got excited.
It's fun.
And you said that this beaker's just acetone? Or
Yeah,
did you
it's acetone.
We put a little food coloring in it so that you
For
can
effect.
see it.
Right, for
That
effect.
stone would otherwise just be clear. But yeah, it's just acetone and a packing peanut, so it's another activity you could do at home if you wanted to.
Yeah. So could you do all of these at home? for
I'd
the
say
part?
most of them.
Yeah, we use like higher concentrations of everything. So ours will be more intense than what you would do at home, but you could hypothetically do it at home. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Out of these three, what's your favorite one?
I like puking pumpkin because of all the kids' reactions. They're
Yeah.
always like, "Oh, gross!" It's so cute.
Yeah, I would probably have to say out of the ones we did here, the puking pumpkin. But there's a lot of other ones that we do at the show that I think are also really cool.
Yeah, that are really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
This was so
absolutely.
fun. And do you have any ideas for the next show? I know it like just happened, but do you have themes or Is it going to be kind of the same?
Well, we're praying for good weather next year. So then hopefully our big plan this year was to expand into Yates and like outside and everything, and we weren't able to do that because of the snow. So we're really hoping next year for good weather so that we can expand and maybe host like more people from the community and add a few more booths, like do things like that.
Right.
Yeah, I would definitely say expand because we had 1,000 people this time when it was snowing. So like hopefully if it's really good weather, we can have even more.
1,300 last year when it wasn't snowing.
Oh, wow.
So just to keep growing and to keep like adding new booths and keep the event growing because it's been going on for like over 15 years. And so it's really cool to see it grow. Like they used to only get an attendance of like 200. And so even that it's just grown while we've been here has been really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's nice to share your passion with students and kids who you know, may find their passion in science too.
Yeah.
It's
we
super
get
fun.
a lot of volunteers that are like in our class. And so it's a great way to like make new friends because you get to meet new people that are, you know, in a lot of your classes or that you see around and you're like, oh, you volunteered. Nice to see you again.
And even if kids don't think that they like science because it's like math-based or whatever, they like see all of this and they're like, oh, science is actually like really cool and I could actually really get into this because of all the different applications of it in like fun ways.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I love this so much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, don't go away. Don't go away, Rams. When we come back, we have a guest who has been picking and selling pumpkins for over 20 years.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
I'm at Spooky's Pumpkin Patch, the pumpkin patch right off of Drake and College Avenue that has been in this same lot for over 20 years. I'm about to go inside and talk to the owner, Jess Aragon.
The way I started the pumpkin business was, I've always been in the Christmas tree business. I've been in the Christmas tree business for the past 38 years here in Fort Collins. And I went to a seminar, and one of the topics discussed was to increase your business in the Christmas tree industry is to start a pumpkin patch, selling retail and setting up your location a lot quicker, earlier, getting people aware of the location as opposed to starting around Thanksgiving. This gives you an opportunity to get things set up in advance.
And with just one seminar, Aragon found his lifelong passion.
Finishing up my 21st year here, you know, the town's grown a lot. I see a lot of things changing, and, you know, it's nice to be a part of that holiday tradition that people do in the fall and also Christmas time, being a part of that celebration. So it's interesting.
Watching the town change is not only his favorite part about his pumpkin business.
The favorite part is just seeing people enjoy themselves and have fun and pick out nice big pumpkins that they like. You know, it's always fun to, my birthday's on Halloween, so growing up I've always had great Halloween parties and different things and activities, so it plays right into that, and I've always had a great time with it. It's something that I naturally gravitate to as far as an interest, and just seeing people enjoy themselves, you know, that's the biggest entertainment for me.
Welcome back, Rams. I had such a good time getting to know Jess and his long history in the pumpkin biz. Now, on a different note, I'm not really a fan of horror movies and especially haunted houses. However, my producer, Alexa, and I decided to step out of our comfort zones and go to a haunted house, created by students who do it for a good cause. This year, the annual Theta Ki Haunted House took their theme from the big screen, American Horror Story, where each room is based on a different season from the hit FX show.
It is very relevant. It's modern. It's a super famous TV show, in my opinion. Everyone watched it, so, and a lot of people can like relate to it. So.
Oh, right there. Get ready. Hey. Yeah! Oh my God, that was unexpected. All right. Okay.
This haunted house not only puts on a good show for the crowd, but raises money for their philanthropy, the United Services Organization.
We had our first night last night, and we raised over $2,000.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, dear. All behind us.
This spooky event tends to bring members of the fraternity and volunteers closer together through all the tricks and all the treats.
Honestly, the execution of just like getting it ready and actually like seeing the boys in makeup, it's awesome. I love seeing like the talent that comes out of them, and it's cool. Like it's just like a really big brotherhood.
All right, we made it.
I survived.
That was great.
Wow.
We survived.
Nice job. I'm now joined by Jordan Laughlin, the president of Theta Ki, the fraternity who hosted that spooky haunted house. Thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you? How was your day?
It was good, busy as ever with midterms.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Well, so I had so much fun going to that haunted house. It was the first one that I went to, like ever in my whole life.
Oh, really?
So now I'm not as nervous about going to them. So, but could you tell me why a haunted house for a philanthropy?
So this has been a tradition that we've done for about 5 years now. And basically we started it 5 years ago, had like pretty small attendance, just trying to get it all set up. Since then we've had awesome sponsors. The Outpost where we host it allowed us to come in there. It's just grown every year, and we found it's a really fun way not only to engage our brothers, but to engage people outside of the community and even people around Fort Collins that may not normally come to philanthropy events by fraternities.
Right. I think that's a good point, because I know sometimes they are, well, there's a bunch of different events for philanthropies, but I definitely think this is the most like creative, at least that I've seen.
Yeah, I like to think so. It's super fun, and we can bring in like kids and stuff from outside. Sometimes that's not super feasible for other philanthropy events. So it's a great way to involve the whole community.
Yeah, so how did it go? So I know that you donate to the United Services Organization. Could you tell like how much money did you raise during those 2 days?
Yeah, so just in those 2 days we raised over $4,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Anjo, our philanthropy chair, did an incredible job of setting this all up. And in addition to sending this $4,000, we also made another like $2,000 from last semester, and we send that all out to the United Service Organization to benefit them.
That's amazing. So can you tell me how does that make you all feel? Does it, because you have so much preparation, and then you finally get to that, wow, $4,000.
Yeah, no, it feels really good to get to that point, and there's, months and months of planning and preparation that goes into it, so it's definitely great to see it all kind of come to fruition right at the end here. It's also awesome just to know that we're donating this money to a good cause. We have active brothers who are now overseas serving for the military, so it's really awesome to see them taking advantage of some of the stuff that we do.
Right, that's super special. That's awesome. So you said the process, and when I was there, I saw the makeup and the costumes and like the scenes inside. Can you tell me how long does that take?
Yeah, so I'd say like we start planning for it usually at the beginning of the summer. So that's just getting all of like the permits and everything, getting the fire people all through. As far as planning out all the costumes and everything, that usually comes about a couple months prior to it, when we set up all the rooms. But the real issue, I guess, is the day of the haunted house is the only time we're allowed to come in and set up.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so we actually arrive there at about 7 a.m. and spend the whole day just setting up. All of our actors usually are in there about 2 p.m., so 5 hours-ish before the actual start, and we get everything together, get everyone in makeup. We've had some awesome makeup artists, too, who have really done just a fantastic job in making people look spooky. So.
Right, yeah, I definitely saw that was, like, the eye.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it. I can't do makeup, but props to them.
Right, they did a fantastic job for sure. So do you have to take all of the stuff down that same night and then come back, or they give you like this 2 days?
So we actually, after the end on the second night there, so about midnight, we take everything down that very night and clean up everything, pack it all up, and then usually we come in the next day just to make sure during the day everything looks spiff and clean and everything again. But yeah, it's a pretty quick turnaround, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Well, I definitely think that the Outpost was also an interesting place to have it, because you said was it 2 floors that you were able to do it?
Yeah, so we did it on 2 floors there.
And how did you feel about the theme?
I loved the theme.
Yeah,
we've had different ones in the past. When I organized this 2 years ago, we did like a 90s nightmare theme where we had 90s movies, so I thought this was a really cool way to go off of something that people really know now and are interested in. You know, I think everyone knows what American Horror Story is at this point, so kind of involving that and theming all of our rooms around it, I thought was an awesome idea on Anjo's part.
Yeah. Did you have a specific room that was your favorite?
That's really hard. I think that last room, the hotel room, I thought was really good, especially with how they set it up with like the music switching and the strobe lights, and you kind of walk in, there's a really ominous feel and they're all still until halfway through when they all start moving and coming at you. So that was my favorite.
Yeah, I definitely cannot ever forget the actor like crawling down the stairs. I was so impressed. He just like flew himself down the stairs, like commitment.
There's some dedication there, and that man has some bruises on him too. So
but for a good cause.
Oh yeah, it's all for a good cause in the end.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your favorite part, if you had to sum it up, your favorite part about this whole philanthropy?
I think my favorite part is just seeing it the day of and seeing everybody come through it, seeing people leave the haunted house and be like, that was actually really spooky. I wasn't expecting that from like a group at CSU to pull off something that looks pretty professional. And also just being able to talk to people about like where their money is going and that we're not just putting on a haunted house for the sake of putting on a haunted house. We brought our donors in on Friday night, so the first night of the haunted house, to see it as well. It was really cool to gesture people to them afterwards so they could see where their money is going and exactly who they're benefiting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for having me and Alexa at the haunted house.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys
and
for
coming here tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Have a happy Halloween, Rams, and stay safe. Good night.